I'm Mark Metcalf from Blue Box, and I install mostly Funktion-One systems in all kinds of different venues and have done since Funktion-One started, and before then with turbo sound systems. Basically, largely Tony Andrews designed systems. We've met today at Ridge Farm because it's where it all started, for me certainly, and also Tony's development into a big player in the sound industry started here as well. It's where I met Tony originally. I was working for his brother, converting a barn into a recording studio. And I found Tony, he was very open compared to a lot of people I've met. And he had a lot of interesting views on not just sound, but everything to do with the world, really, which I was quite drawn to. And when I heard, obviously, the speakers that he had designed and was making and working with, it just took me to another level. Straight away, I knew there was something different about them. I'd never heard anything quite like that. And I've been in the business ever since. The Res 2 is just the sweetest system. The thing that's always impressed me about the Res 2, and I think is what makes it sound so sweet, is the way that the 8 works with the 1 inch, and that's down to the passive crossover. It's just spot on. It's just, to me, the most engaging system. You can just get lost in it really easily, and you notice that in the reaction of the people. They're not really noticing anything else. They don't even know there's a sound system there. It's just that perfect box, a sweet sounding box. A lot of DJs will recommend Funktion-One because they know at the end of the day, they get a better response from the crowd when they go and play their set, because that transfer of what they're putting in is probably about as good as you're ever going to get it to what they hear when they're on the dance floor. With Tony's designs, he's always been so far ahead of the curve that it has longevity, just naturally, because it's so good to start with. In the early 2000s, I was working with a couple of guys in San Francisco, and they introduced me to a woman who was opening a small club, DJ bar, and she wanted Funktion-One. And the reason she wanted Funktion-One is because she'd been to Ibiza and she went to an MTV party in a quarry, and she was so blown away by the sound that she went to find out what it was, and obviously it was Funktion-One. I can quote quite a few instances of that over time, and that is incredibly rare for somebody in an audience not only to enjoy the sound, but to enjoy it enough to find out what it is. And at the end of the day, for me, it's always been with Funktion-One, you either get it or you don't. If you don't get it, it's not a problem. You can still go and have a great time, but if you get it, it can take you somewhere else.